just going to keep my book beside you right here while we do this. Thank you so much, by the way, for helping me study with my exam. I really appreciate it. Okay. So the first channel that we're going to do is the lung channel. I'm just going to place that there, and I'm going to be marking the points as we go. Okay. So lung 1, I'm just going to find your midline of the sternum and the acromion. And from the midline of the sternum to the acromion, it's 8 swing. So we're going to go halfway and then another half. Find the clavicle, and just under the first rib is going to be lung 1. So I'm just going to mark it. Lung 2 is going to be the one right under the clavicle. Okay, so it starts there, goes there. We're going to find the bottom of the anterior axillary folds and the transverse cubital crease. And from here to here, it's 9 swing. So we're actually going to just divide that into thirds, and it should be that one right there, because it's 3 swing distal, and it's going to be radial to the biceps brachii. So I can feel the biceps brachii muscle right there. It's going to be right radial. Okay, that's lung 3. Lung 4 is just 1 swing under that. So I'm going to be following the line from lung 3 all the way down to lung side of the biceps brachii tendon. So I'm going to be following that line. And we're going to just go 1 swing lower, which is going to be about 1 thumb. So I'll just place that right there. Just going to make sure that I'm on the right line. So just being kind of a perfectionist here. Okay. That should be pretty good. And the other way to make sure is going like that, and then 3, and then dividing this third into thirds as well. There we go. Okay, so that's lung 1, lung 2, lung 3, lung 4. Lung 5 is the next point. It's on the cubital crease to the radial side of the biceps brachii tendon. So I'm just going to have you flex. Good. Okay, relax. And it's going to be right there. Very good. We have a few more points left on the forearm and the hand. So next we're going to do lung 6, which is 7 swing proximal to lung 9. And we know that lung 9 is right here on the transverse crease of the wrist. So, and we know from the transverse cubital crease to the transverse crease of the wrist, it's 12 swing. So if it's 7 from here, we're going to have to divide that by half and then add about 1 swing, so be around there. And it's on the line joining lung 5 to lung 9. So I would say it's about here. Let me just check. Okay. I'd say that is lung 6. And then the rest are on the hand. So lung 7 is going to be right here. It's going to be proximal to the styloid process of the radius. And yeah, right there. Lung 7. Lung 8 is 1 swing proximal to the transverse crease of the wrist. So if that's the transverse crease, and it's on the radial side of the radial artery, just find the radial artery right here. It's on the radial side. About 1 swing. I would say it's about here. Okay. And then lung 9 is on the transverse crease of the wrist in the depression on the radial side of the radial artery. So again, finding that radial artery. And it's going to be right there. And this is a source point. I find a lot of the source points are on the transverse crease of the wrist. Next we have lung 10, which is in the midpoint of the first metacarpal and thumb. So we're going to find the junction where the skin changes color and texture, which is about here and right at the midpoint. So that's lung 10. And then lung 11 is, I forget which side of the thumb. Okay, it's on the radial side, so everything's pretty much radial, and it's just right there. Okay, so that's the lung channel. Alright, so next we're going to be doing the large intestine channel, and large intestine 1 is on the radial side of the index finger. So, right here. And large intestine 2 is also on the radial side of the index finger, but distal to the metacarpophalangeal joint. So it'll be around here at the junction of where the skin changes. So let's say it's right here. And then large intestine 3 is in the depression proximal to the head of the second. Okay, so right here. Good. And then large intestine 4 is one of the most popular points. It's cool. Just right here. Large intestine 5 is in the anatomical snuff box. Right here. So we just finished large intestine 5, and large intestine 6 is 3 twin proximal to large intestine 5 on the line joining 5 and 11. So 11 we know is right down here. So let's actually mark that first because it's actually right at the edge. And then if we're going to join the line between 5 and 11, so all the other points are going to be on this line. Okay. And we know that from the transverse crease to here is 12. So that'll be 6. And if it's 3, it'll be here. And good. That's 6. 7 is 5 twin proximal. So it'll be again 6 and 1 twin and it'll be about 2. Let me try that one just one more time. I think it's about here. That might be a little off, maybe slightly more distal. And then large intestine 8 is 4 twin distal to large intestine 11. So it'll be, I'm just going to divide it by thirds. And then it should be right. Yeah, because 3 times 4 is 12, right? So it should be there. And then large intestine 9 is 3 twin, which half and half there. Large intestine 10 is 2 twin distal, so it'll be around here. I think that's right. This is lung 7, large intestine 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's keep moving. So we ended off at large intestine 11, and next we have large intestine 12, with the elbow flex, the point is proximal to the lateral epicondyle of the humerus when swings superolateral to the large intestine 11. So I'm going to flex the arm slightly and find the lateral epicondyle of the humerus right here. It's going to be once and superolateral. Is that actually really okay? If it's once and superolateral to large intestine 11, then that's probably better. I would just place it around here. Yeah, approximately. Actually, it might be slightly higher. Let's do that one. Maybe more around there. And largest intestine 13 is the line joining large intestine 11 and 15. Let's go ahead and find 15 first. Anterior and inferior to the chromion. Let's see here. There's the acromion, so it's going to be anterior and inferior. Yeah, I would say that's right here. That would be large intestine 15. So again, we're going to draw a line between 15 and 11, and all the rest of the points are going to be around here. Okay. So we found 12. 13 is 3 proximal, and we're going to divide anterior axillary fold to the cubital crease. It's 3, then it'd just be right there. Okay, so that's 13. 14 is 2 distal from here. So let's do that one again. I would actually do this, and then around here. It's actually really close to the lung points, which is really interesting, but slightly posterior. Okay. Alright, and then we have large intestine 15. Since we're staying on the arm, we're just going to end off at large intestine 16, which is on the superior aspect of the shoulder, the depression between the acromial extremity of the clavicle and the scapular spine. So it'll be right in between the two. Just like that. Okay, that's the end for large intestine. And we'll move on to the heart channel. Alright, next we have the heart channel, and we're just going to skip heart 1 and start at heart 2, which is with the elbow flex. The point is 3 proximal to the medial end of the transverse cubital crease, and depression medial to the biceps brachii. Okay, so from here to here would be 9. And we're going to do 3 proximal. Okay. And we're going to do medial to the biceps brachii, which is right there. Heart 2. And heart 3 is, actually, would that be right? Yeah, that would be right. And heart 3 is at the medial end of the transverse cubital crease, and the depression anterior to the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so it's kind of like opposite of large intestine 11. And then we're going to move on to the rest of the heart channel, which is all kind of in a line here on the ulnar side. So all of these points are on the radial side of the flexor carpi ulnaris tendon. So let me first find that. Just gonna move on the radial side. So it's roughly here. Heart 7 is going to be on the transverse crease. And then we're going to have each of the other points 0.5 tsuen proximal to that. So heart 4 is 1.5 tsuen proximal. Let me see what 1 tsuen would be. Out here. And here. So, like that, I would say. Heart 7, 6, 5, and 4, 3, 2. And then heart 8. I want you to just make a little loose fist like this. Thank you. Heart 8 is right here. And heart 9 is on the radial side of the little finger. Just right here. Okay, perfect. I think that's mostly right. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good, and our thumbs are pretty similar. So, okay, that's the heart channel. Next, we're going to do pericardium, and we'll start again at pericardium 2, which is 2 tsuen distal to the end of the anterior axillary fold between the two heads of the biceps brachii muscle. So, again, 9, and divide it by thirds, and about here, and I'm going to feel for the heads of the biceps brachii, and it's going to be right in the middle. Okay, it's pericardium 2. Pericardium 3 is on the actual transverse cubital crease on the ulnar side of the biceps brachii. So it's opposite of lung 5. So we found lung 5 here. Pericardium 3 is going to be over here. Yep, right there. Moving on, pericardium 4 is 5 tsuen proximal to the transverse crease of the wrist on the line joining pericardium 3 and pericardium 7, which we'll find first. Pericardium 7 is in depression in the middle of the transverse crease of the wrist between the palmaris longus and the flexor carpi radialis. So I'm just going to move your wrist radial to find the flexor carpi radialis, which is right here. And then I'm going to have you put these two together to find palmaris longus. Perfect. So it's these two tendons right here. We're going to stay in between them. And pericardium 7 is going to be right in between the two. Some people don't have a palmaris longus tendon, and in that case you're just going to have to go slightly ulnar to the, sorry, this should be out here. You're going to go slightly ulnar to the flexor carpi radialis. So if it's 2 tsuens, 12 is 6, or maybe we should do thirds. Yeah, thirds are probably better. And then it's going to be right in between. Pericardium 6. Pericardium 7, pericardium 5 is just 1 tsuen proximal to that. And then pericardium 4 is 5 tsuen proximal. So for this one, I think I would just go halfway. So that's 6, and then 1 tsuen distal. Okay, so pericardium 7, 6, 5, and 4, 3, 2. And then we have pericardium 8, which I forget how to find this one. It's between the second and third metacarpal bones. So proximal to the metacarpal phalangeal joint. Okay. When a loose fist is made, it is where the tip of the middle finger touches the palm. Can you make a loose fist? Perfect. So right here. Pericardium 8. And pericardium 9 is right at the tip. Good. Next we have the small intestine channel. Let me find my little pencil here. Okay. So start with small intestine 1. Alright, this is on the ulnar side of the pinky and about 0.1 cm posterior to the corner of the male bed. Okay. Small intestine 2, when a loose fist is made, the point is distal to the metacarpal phalangeal joint. Thank you. Distal to the metacarpal phalangeal joint at the junction where the skin changes texture and color. Small intestine 3 is proximal to the head of the 5th metacarpal bone. So right here. And then small intestine 4 is in the depression between the base of the 5th metacarpal bone and the triquetral bone. I would say that is it kind of at the okay, so the triquetral bone, got it, right here. So basically at the transverse crease. So that's small intestine 5. Oh no, small intestine, did I get that wrong? Oh, 1 second. Small intestine 4 is on the ulnar side of the palm in the depression between the base of the 5th metacarpal bone and the triquetral bone. Ah, okay, so it's more up here. Got it. So small intestine 4 and small intestine 5 is in the depression between the styloid process of the ulna and the triquetral bone. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then we have small intestine 6. Which is with the palm facing the chest. The point is in the bony cleft on the radial side. So actually I'm going to have to move like this. The point is in the bony cleft on the radial side of the styloid process. Okay, so right here. It's been a while since I've used this point. Small intestine 6. Small intestine 7, 5 cm proximal to the wrist on the line joining small intestine 5 and small intestine 8. So let's go ahead and find small intestine 8 first. Between the olecranon of the ulna, which is here, and the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Between the olecranon and, so right there. Interesting. Okay, and then small intestine 7 is 5 cm proximal to the wrist. So again, we're going to do that. And it's 12, 6, 5 cm proximal to the wrist on the line between small intestine 5. 5 cm proximal to the wrist. Okay. So halfway, another 1 cm down. Okay, so that's small intestine 5, 6, 7, 8. Moving on. So the rest of the points are on the back, and small intestine 9 is when the arm is abducted, the point is 1 cm superior to the tip of the posterior axillary bolt. So, about here. Small intestine 9. Small intestine 10 is in the depression inferior and lateral to the scapular spine, directly superior to small intestine 9. Depression inferior and lateral to scapular spine. Here's the scapular spine. So it's right up there. Okay. Small intestine 11 on the midline of the infrascapular fossa. Just gonna move that over. Let me find the scapula. Okay. On the midline of the infrascapular fossa. On the junction of the upper 1/3 and middle 1/3 distance. Okay. Right there, I would say. Because if scapula ends around there, and this is the midline, and that's the spine of the scapula, and you find a line like this, then I feel like that would be the 1/3, roughly. Maybe a little bit higher. Okay. In the center of the suprascapular fossa, directly superior to small intestine 11. That's 11, so 12 is up here. This is T1, and we're going to find the second spinous process, thoracic. So T1, T2, so roughly there. And it's going to be midway between these two, but on the medial extremity of the suprascapular fossa. Interesting. There we go. So that's 13. 14 is threats and lateral to the lower border of the first thoracic spinous process. And we know that 3 is in line with the medial side of the scapula. So right here, roughly 13, 14. But it shouldn't line up like that. That's interesting. Let me do that one again. I think 13 is supposed to be a little bit more actually on the extremity, so that's 13. And this one is 14, which is at the lower border. So this one's 14. And that's 3. Yeah, I would say that's 14. And then 15 is toots and lateral to the lower border of the 7th. Toots and lateral to the lower border of the 7th. That's T1. This is C7. And I would find it about there, because that's 3, so maybe actually a little bit more. Around there. So that's 15. Okay. Just sharpen this first. Go. Just need to turn your hand over this way. Okay. We're going to be doing triple warmer. Triple warmer 1 is on the ulnar side of the nail bed of the 4th finger. Triple warmer 2 is proximal to the margin of the web between the 4th and 5th digits. Best done with the clenched. There we go. 1, 2. 3 is in the depression proximal to the metacarpophalangeal joint. There we are. On that same line. Triple warmer 4 at the wrist joint in the depression on the radial side of the extensor digiti minimi tendon. So, just going to find that extensor digiti minimi. Can you actually move this up on your own? Thank you. And it's going to be on the radial side of that. Okay. Triple warmer 5 is tooth and proximal to triple warmer 4 between the radius and ulna on the radial side of the extensor digitorum communis muscle. So it's between the ulna and the radius, but it is on the radial side of the extensor digitorum communis muscle. I want you to extend the entire wrist like this. Thank you. Relax. It's on the radial side, right here. So I'm just gonna actually mark where that line is. And triple warmer 5 is tooth and proximal. Okay. From here to here is 12, 6. Actually, it's 2/3. 12, 4, 2 on the radial side. The extensor digitorum communis. Triple warmer 6 is 3 tsun. So we're like this. Another way to do it is half and then half. So actually more like, and I'm making a mess here. More like this. It's triple warmer 6. Triple warmer 7 is next to it, but more ulnar side. It is on the radial side of the ulna. 1 finger breadth medial. Here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is another 1 tsun. So for that one we can just take the 12 tsun and go by third. Right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can find triple warmer 9, which is 5 tsun distal to the tip of the olecranon. So there's the tip of the olecranon, and we're going to stay between the radius and the ulna. So palpating for the radius and the ulna, radius. Half 6, Once went down, right there. Triple warmer 9. We're almost done. Now let's continue up the arm. So we need to find triple warmer 10. Once and superior. So that's the tip of the olecranon right there. Once and when flexed, so maybe about there. So that's triple warmer 10. Triple warmer 11 is once when proximal to triple warmer 10. And is it following a line or it's just once when proximal? Okay. And we'll just go once when proximal. 11. 12 is on the line joining the olecranon and triple warmer 14. So let's find triple warmer 14. Triple warmer 14 is posterior and lateral to the chromion. Large intestine 15 we found earlier, it was on the anterior side, so this one's on the posterior side. So roughly, it's quite close to small intestine 10. I think it would be right here. So triple warmer 14 is posterior and lateral to the acromion, so about here, pretty close to small intestine 10. And then we're going to use that line joining triple warmer 11 and 13. The line joining olecranon and triple warmer 14, so around here. And we found 11, 12 is midway. Okay. 13 is on that line as well at the posterior border of the deltoid muscle between the deltoid and triceps brachii muscles. Posterior border of the deltoid muscle. But this one is between the heads of the triceps brachii muscle. I'm really quite rusty with this one. It's actually maybe a bit more on that side, but it'll be hard to. Yeah, I would say it's maybe triple warmer 12. It's a little bit more. Actually, no, that's not bad. I would say that's okay. And then triple warmer 13 is the deltoid and the triceps brachii. I would say it's right here. And joining the line. So 12, 13, 14. And then 15 is midway between gallbladder 21 and small intestine 13. Very interesting. 13 is here. Gallbladder 21 is at the top point, so it'd be halfway. Right there. Triple warmer 15. And that's it for all the back, shoulder, and arm points. Thank you so much for helping me out. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day.